Hey, I'm happy to have you here. In our weekly report, we're going to go over the ABCs, aluminum, brass, copper, and steel, other information. If you have any questions, ask us while we're going live. This way we can talk about them, answer your questions, and get into what really matters inside the scrap metal world.
What's up, scrappers? Tom here. Today's the 22nd of July. Hope you're doing well. You know what? We're just going to start off with a question. I wonder how much the 100-inch snowfall in Chile is affecting the price of copper. I mean, copper did go up 25 cents yesterday, so maybe it's a good thing. Bring on another 8 feet of snow. Can you imagine what 8 feet of snow looks like? Because I couldn't even I know how tall it is, but watching it fall, but I don't think that's affected copper prices too much, but we'll talk about that later. Today's Wednesday, July 22nd. Hope you're doing well. We do these videos almost every single week. And if you like these videos, we have a members only section that you can join that gives you special weekly, monthly releases on all types of videos, teaching you about the scrap markets. And we have lots of other videos on there, so check them out. Let's talk about copper, because I have to tell you, I can't believe how resilient copper has been. When I look at copper prices and I see a trading number of $6.49, that's what it was right before I walked in here, I'm in shock, and I really mean that. With the Iranian conflict going on, with steel prices so low, I expected copper to be in the $4.50 to $5 range. So to see these numbers consistently between $6 and $6.50 trading is almost unheard of, because when I talk to traders, there's a humongous demand for copper out there. But it's over years, and there's still mines happening, and there's still recycling going, and of course data centers being built, and we talked about electrical infrastructure and power plants going out there. But scrappers, I mean, we're like 15 cents off all-time highs. What are we doing here? How are we not saying throw up the balloons and the confetti, because I can't believe we are where we are, especially when you look at all of the other markets. So having the conflict in Iran continuing to go on, having oil prices going back up, I'm so elated with copper prices that if you asked me 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months ago, if I would take these, I would have signed on the dotted line right then and there. In fact, I would have signed for the next 3 years to have the prices where they are. And of course, everyone's going to go, oh, we want copper to go up. Okay, of course, we want copper to go up. But I didn't think that we would see things where they are. And when you compare copper's strength to stainless steel and nickel prices, or catalytic converter PGM prices, or the pullback in aluminum markets, or steel, we don't have to discuss steel because it's just so disgusting to talk about, right? I'm really, really happy. And when I look at how strong things are, and the people that are reporting online, they're able to go online and find prices, report prices, see what markets are, get news from outlets like this every week. And we're really happy to see how things are going. So if you have questions on copper or anything else, by all means, let me know. But I'm very, very happy with copper prices. And I would tell you, I see them lasting for the balance of the year. If we're in the middle of July, rounding into August right now, with 5 months left in the year, this is a humongous win. This is a humongous win. And any naysayers that are going to come on this channel or any other channel talking about copper prices going up and prices should be higher, poo-poo on you, because these are fantastic markets that should really be taken advantage of. And I would be selling as quickly as I get it in, or as quickly as I process it, which is what we're doing here. I've said this for 15 years, 2 to 3 day turnover. And if you've been holding on to copper, please, by all means, get it out. Another win, catalytic converters, 3-month high in prices. Now, unfortunately, that's because the war restarted and people started to stream some money into the precious metals. I saw gold pop over 4,200 an ounce, and I saw silver jump to 16 ounce. But considering back in January, we saw gold at 5,200, platinum, palladium, and rhodium at multi-month year highs. And then we saw that pullback happen in February, March. It's a nice thing to get some of those prices up. Okay. But catalytic converters have been severely depressed since 2021, 2022, just in a comparison level. I think the prices are actually really strong, but it's nice because we saw about a 5 to 7% increase over the last couple of weeks. It's for a bad reason. No one wants wars, but we are seeing some money flowing into the precious metals, which have increased the average catalytic converter across the country to over 115 a cat. That's an average OEM number. We were down at one point to like $97. So to go from 97 to 115, you're looking at like a 15 to 17, percent gain. That's awesome. That's unbelievably awesome. And the team over at our Cats has seen our pricing quotes go up, our packages coming in. So if for some reason you've been holding on to your cats, you might want to check out either our Cats or someone else. Prices are up there, and that's a really great sign. I'll end with talking about steel. Steel prices have been really, really in the gutter. They've been severely depressed. And here we are with copper surging, PGM surging. I don't see steel having any type of increase. I mean, there are scrap yards in the country that are non-shredder, non-processor yards like my own that are now paying 70 to $100 a ton for light iron. And with inflation, if you compare that to 6 years ago, those numbers should be almost double. And what we're seeing is a severe pullback in the steel demand, a continuation of massive amounts of iron ore being mined in Australia and other parts of the world, contributing to the gluttony of metals that are out there for iron oxides and iron ore. And then you have the recycling side of things. So steel prices are bad, and oil and diesel and gas prices up creates an even more expensive process, which is one of the reasons we started to see these prices going down. And it really stinks, but it's just not going to change anytime soon. These are the prices. So I don't hold on to any steel. And some of my friends that thought they were going to hold on, they're not holding on either because they don't see the upside swing. Now, I will say this. Back in 08, 09, 14, 15, then 21, 22, we did see surges in steel pricing. So that's like a 5 to 7 year gap. Well, we're now starting to approach that 5 to 7 year gap from 2021 and 2022. Do I see in prices doubling like next year, 2027, 2028? No, because I don't see where the demand is coming from. I don't see like great rebuilding going on all over, whether it's Ukraine or Iran. I don't see a massive demand for steel because think about it. Even because people always say in some of the, not always, sometimes people say in these, because of the war, they're going to need steel. Well, what's happening when things are destroyed? They still need to rebuild them, and all that metal is still there. It's just in a crumpled pile. And eventually when they clean it, they're going to pull the metal out and they're going to use it, but they can't even think about making new steel until they clean piles of rubble and get their economies and their neighborhoods back in shape. So war sucks, but it's not even a driver for steel prices going up. So we really need to see a humongous area of growth for steel. It's not happening in the auto sector. It's not happening in the building sector right now. I went by a place in Secaucus, New Jersey recently. They're building a 1 million square foot Amazon warehouse. And it was just concrete walls, prefab concrete walls. You got a little bit of rebar in there, but it's easier, faster, and cheaper. It's like connecting Lego blocks. So where's the steel demand? And you've heard me talk about power plants over the years. They went from needing 30,000 tons of steel at a coal processing power plant to like 3,000 tons of steel at some of these gas turbines that they're creating. Where's the steel going to be needed at, right? So you folks out there, you scrappers out there that are like, oh yeah, we need those prices to go up. I don't see it happening, scrappers. Maybe I'm wrong. But unfortunately, I think I'm right. So let me know. Check out some of our member-only stuff. We got some converter things and some other aluminum news we're going to be talking about on our members-only videos. So check those things out. We have any questions, V? No, nothing today. We see some prices on there. Appreciate you all tuning in. Really appreciate. I see that prices dropped 160 to 115. Crazy drop in numbers. So hey, I'm going to be off next week, so I'll tune back in with you guys in 2 weeks from now. Maybe we will see a pop up in prices. But hope you enjoyed this. Check out some of our other videos. Until next week, I'll strap.